right. And so tell me a little bit about what had you interested in lymph in the first place.
I've been doing a lot of mental and emotional work for the last several years, and I was getting back into feeling safe with my body. And so I started with traditional massage for like several months. And then I just started being exposed to and hearing a lot about lymph work and started doing my own on my own body, and really felt the call to like have someone who was highly educated and trained to be able to come in and really work on my body in like a full revamp kind of an experience, and found you on Google.
Awesome. And so tell me, because I know you have like the chiari syndrome, and what else what were you experiencing before you came in, and what have you noticed?
So I have a handful of like diagnoses. I do have a chiari malformation. In layman terms, my brain is too big for my skull, and it is moving down into my spinal column. So it really interrupts my CSF flow. I don't have it super severely as a lot of other people do. I found out about it by accident like 10 years ago, was relatively asymptomatic for the most part. But that's changed over the last 10 years. It's like having more kids, and that's interfered a lot with those types of things, especially with like getting epidurals. But I get back of the neck headaches.
How often were those happening?
3 or 4 times a week.
And then 1 out of 10, how intense were they?
Probably at like a 4 or a 5. They weren't debilitating for me. Every once in a while, I feel like I needed like ibuprofen or Tylenol, but I did a lot of like back of the neck heat packs when things would get like really uncomfortable for me. And I was doing that several times a week just to like calm the symptoms down, calm the pain that I was feeling and the inflammation that was happening. I have a lot of like cervical instability. I go to a chiropractor twice a week and get everything kind of like put back into place. And I also, when it gets really bad for me, I get like vision changes. I have to wear my glasses a lot more consistently, kind of get like eye fuzzies and floaties. And the worst one, when I know I'm not doing good, is I have trouble swallowing. And so since starting to work with you, all of those symptoms, I haven't had any.
Since the very first one?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that's so huge.
I haven't had any.
And then you had mentioned you also grind your teeth or clench.
Yes.
And we've done the inner mouth a couple times. We did sideline for you last time.
Yes.
What were your experiences with that? Did you enjoy it? What did you notice?
So with the inner mouth, so I have invisible aligners that I'm doing to just like straighten out my teeth. I've been doing that for the last 8 months. I have about 5 more months left to go. But I grind really bad at night when I sleep. And I started wearing holes down like in my retainers before I'd have to switch them to my next set after like a week, which was telling me how much stress that I was under. But after the very first inner mouth drain that you did for me, the tension and pain I was feeling decreased over 50%, and I'm barely grinding at all. And then you did it a second time and it was almost non-existent. So I requested it again just because I've gotten a whole new set that I'm just finishing my last 5 months, and with everything changing in there, things get tense, and all those micro movements just cause a lot of strain. And it makes a huge difference for me. I don't wake up with like a tight or clenched jaw. I'm not wearing holes in my retainers anymore. It's been a huge difference for me.
Yeah, and that's had a lot of improvement in your face pictures with how much your head is draining, especially with that chiari. There's just too much brain for your head. There's too much inflammation. We see it in the shape of your face structure, how much it changes every single time.
Yes.
And so doing that sideline for the traps and opening up that inner mouth just really profoundly helped how much your head was holding.
Yeah, absolutely. I have never let a practitioner outside of my chiropractor, who is trained to do adjustments for someone with my malformation. I don't let anyone touch my neck. But I felt a very deep sense of safety in being, when I started working with you, that it would be safe for you to do that kind of work. And I kind of felt like my brain was asking me, like, please move this extra fluid that we've never been able to move. Like, please let us drain. And normally when I've had massage therapists touch my neck in the past, as I learned about this condition, when I found out about it, it would cause severe vertigo spells for days on end. Like, I would be debilitated for a solid week after I would get like massage work done, or like an unqualified like chiropractor doing work on my neck was incredibly dangerous. But I've had zero issues with the work that you've done, especially with the work that you've done like on my head and draining everything through my brain. I get a little bit of lightheaded during the session. But once I get up and I get grounded and I hydrate myself, like, I'm good to go. Like, it's completely safe for me to drive home, and I don't have any vertigo. I've had zero vertigo spells, actually.
That's amazing. And I'm so honored because I know you came in very nervous about massage and hesitant about all the things. And then I'm so glad that you felt, safe and that you're in good hands, because I've worked with a lot of things. But how you feel, my history doesn't matter to how you feel. So the fact that you were able to feel safe and settled and then notice the benefits and not really have any of the negative side effects that you've experienced from other bodywork professionals and stuff, that's really amazing.
That's been a really big deal for me. I told you at the beginning when we did our consult, like, I've had some trauma with bodywork practitioners in the past, and that I've had boundaries over wanting to kind of take my like sovereignty and autonomy back. And so I feel really boundaried with letting people into my energetic field, and therefore like doing work on my energy, but also my physical body. And so the fact that you were respectful and validated kind of like where I had come from, and that you were more than happy to walk me through things, talk me through things, let me know how things were going to be. It was just like green flags throughout. So
I love that.
It worked out really great.
And I love, one of my favorite experiences with working with you so far because you didn't let anybody do neck and scalp work, you really hadn't had scalp massage.
Never.
And so I kind of went for it one day, and you were just like, that's the best thing I've ever felt in my life.
Yep. And now I'm requesting it every single time. Like, I need you to work on my head, because it feels, there's such a profound difference for me in my felt sense of being embodied in my body. I experience I have PTSD. I experience a lot of like disassociation, where I feel kind of like I'm floaty and not like fully in my body. And that is something that's like profoundly impacted the physiological part of me and being able to like be in my body, but it's also opened up the mind-body connection for me, and feeling aligned and in sync with a whole person experience, instead of feeling like I'm only doing parts work on myself.
Right, like mental or emotional or physical, but with this it kind of like ties it all together.
It really
integrates all the other work you've done with therapists or whoever, whether it's Eastern medicine, Western medicine. It just makes it all tie together and flow. And I'm so glad that you were able to experience that pretty deeply.
It was very, very profound for me. I've done very deep mental and emotional work with highly trained mental health professionals the last 3 years. I have OCD. I also have PMDD, and those things have like kind of plagued and taken over and debilitated my life. As I have learned and built a toolbox of resources for myself, the next step was helping my body get on board with all the work that I did up here. And so my intention in doing lymph work was to help my body catch up to all of the mental and emotional work that I've done. And this has served such an intensely, profoundly life-changing purpose for me in doing these like last, I think we've done 7 or 8 sessions so far. The amount of things that have aligned in my personal life that I've been able to let go of, that have brought in massive change for myself and my family, has literally lined up with my work with you. And we were stuck for months.
With moving, and there was some friendship stuff that was needing to be addressed, and just like as you were going through those things, you had mentioned in the past before working together that would have floored you, or you would have fallen into darker patterns,
yes,
or stayed stuck a lot longer,
yes,
or been kind of consumed by those anxious, overwhelming thoughts and intrusive thoughts.
Yes.
And that even you did have kind of a more intense detox after the sideline, which
yes.
is totally normal. So most of those symptoms had all just alleviated.
Yeah.
And then with that detox, they kind of flared up a little bit.
They did.
But even just with the flare up, it wasn't like what it was before.
No,
you had control.
Nowhere near to the degree of where I've gone mentally before. My body and my mind would become completely debilitated. Wouldn't be able to leave my home. Wouldn't be able to take care of my family. I'm a mother of 4. Wouldn't be able to like leave my bed, and I've been fully functioning. And so it wasn't the detox this last time with sideline wasn't anywhere near to the intensity that I've experienced before it, but it very much felt like my body was like letting it the last remaining remnants of some of these old patterns that I've really been honing in on were kind of releasing and saying like goodbye, we're leaving, like it's time to go. Yeah. So that I can move into this like next frequency with my life and my family and just move forward.
Yeah, that's so awesome. And just to kind of reiterate that, so before when those intrusive thoughts and OCD and all that would take over, it would floor you. You wouldn't be able to leave your house.
Nope.
Kind of lock yourself away socially, responsibility
would have
wise.
to medicate, like benzos. Would have to just completely shut off all contact with humans. Like I had no bandwidth to even communicate with other people, like outside of my partner. And so like full debilitation.
And then since doing the first like 6 or 7 lymph sessions, all those symptoms pretty much went away.
Yeah.
And then with that little bit they flared up in the detox with sideline, it was...
I was able to reset though. Like I didn't have to bring in any major interventions at all. I was able to just like have the confidence and the clarity to know that like this is what my body needed to continue to surrender and kind of let go and move forward. And I wasn't stuck in my home. I wasn't debilitated. I was able to still be a mom and go take my kids and go and do things.
So more of that like noticing that it's happening but being in control of it rather than like it just taking over and now you're the victim of it.
Yeah.
That's huge
for me.
Yeah, that's really exciting. I'm so excited for you. And last time we checked in on your weight, I think you lost around 15 pounds.
Yeah.
And then we had some big bowel activations and we just had some really big results in your before and after pictures in your last 2 sessions.
Yeah.
And so I'm really excited. I bet it's, more than 15 at this point. But we looked at your very first befores to your afters from last time and it was pretty dramatic.
It's very profound. My husband doesn't see those types of things very often visually, just kind of how his brain perceives things. But when I showed him my before and afters last week, he was floored.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
Of course, how you feel is the most important, but it's really awesome when our spouses and people in our life are like, damn, you got it going on.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Thanks, Dr. Robbie.